How do you? Welcome to 21st Century Entrepreneur Radio. This is Kevin Clarke. I am here to bring you the latest, the greatest, the food that nourishes, that gives you life. Food? What type of food are we speaking about here? Well, I'm talking about food, good food that makes you grow spiritually, physically and mentally. You know how we do it here on the show. Now, I would like to just cut to the chase here and move on to what really matters, because you've probably heard about the show and you want to get straight into it, and you've most probably heard about what I'm going to speak about through the realms of social media. You might have heard about what I'm going to speak about through your newspapers, radio. Yeah, Cader, she's actually here with us on the show, and she's going to speak to you about her humble beginnings. If you've done your research, you'll know that she is a entrepreneur, a budding entrepreneur. She has a lot inside to give. She's passionate about people, and through experience, I've had the privilege to work alongside Ms. Cader. She has a heartbeat for souls. She's mission-minded. She is currently building. I don't even want to speak about her business. I want to let her speak about her business, because she is in the business right now. She's a subject matter. She's changing. She's impacting the face of the earth. She's making a lot of changes in many lives. Her character is absolutely fantastic. I've gone through challenges with her and watched her come through purer, sharper, faster, stronger. She has a heart of compassion. And yeah, I'm going to introduce you to her right now. She's actually here with me, and I'm really excited about this because she's just got so much to share. So, Marie Cader, welcome.
Hello, Kevin. Thank you very much for the introduction. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I've said enough about you, but I'd rather let you speak about who you are, what you're about. What interests me quite a lot as well is how you conquered asthma. But again, I'll let you just take over and speak to the world about you and what you're currently up to at the moment.
Well, thanks. My name's Marie, and basically I'm a businesswoman. I am an owner to a company called Money Solutions Today, which was set up as a financial platform for my ministry, which is connected to health. I'm presently setting up a health centre whereby it's going to have the opportunity to educate people towards diet and lifestyle changes. And this stems from a lot of sicknesses which I've had from childhood upwards. And basically, through my journey with having to make my own diet and lifestyle changes, I've come to the realization that there's a lot of people out there on the planet who, if they had the opportunity just to be given the education on how to care for themselves and make changes to their diet and their lifestyle, then their diseases and health conditions would be very much well managed, improved, or for many people even reversed.
So, your story then, in regards to how you overcame asthma, if you was to just round it up basically, could you share your testimony? We all really want to hear that.
Yes, I suffered with asthma for pretty much the greater majority of my childhood and early adulthood. And by the time I came over to the UK with my family, we immigrated from a tropical island to the UK, London. Within a year, I had developed a condition which wasn't known to me at the time, called asthma. And asthma basically is a common long-term disease which affects the small tubes called the bronchi in the lungs. And basically the bronchi gets inflamed, and it causes a lot of breathlessness, wheezing, coughing, get a lot of tight chestness, And it's triggered off by a lot of things. And some of the things are foods that you eat, foods that you come into contact with, drinks, additives, pollen, mold, pets, smoke, pollution, even catching a common cold, exercise, and definitely the weather. All types of things, from stress, laughing, allergies, the season, pollen count. All these things could trigger off the actual condition and cause the bronchi to become inflamed, and then before you know it, you develop wheezing and sometimes for some people an attack. It comes in various forms. Some people have it mild, others moderate, some severe, and for some people it's life-threatening. And when it's life-threatening, you have to be hospitalized and receive treatment.
So how did you turn things around then?
Well, I didn't really know what was happening to me. I was a child, and I couldn't understand why I had so much problems breathing, and I didn't know what was causing it. All I knew is that I spent a lot of time in hospital with a nebulized mask, and obviously the treatment that I received would basically manage my condition and then give me the opportunity to go back home and go on medication throughout that term until there was another trigger that would take me back. So throughout my childhood, I didn't know. I accepted what I thought was meant to be.
Okay.
But it wasn't until I actually went to train to become a nurse that I was actually exposed to a lot of books and education that was around diseases.
For all of the listeners, Marie's actually got an ebook that will be readily available to download as well, so you can actually find out much more about this amazing story that she's about to touch on. Well, what we'll do is we'll give you an opportunity to grab Marie's details after this testimony, so do look out for this information afterwards. So do carry on, please, Marie.
Yeah, so basically, like most diseases or conditions, you're told that there's absolutely no cure, and you believe it.
Sure.
You believe it because the people are professionals and they're knowledgeable people that are actually saying that there's no cure for your condition, and you put your trust in what they have to say, and there are reasons why they're saying what they're saying. So generally, I think most people just accept there's no cure. But having been exposed to all the books that I was exposed to at the time that I was training to be a nurse, I just decided to learn a bit more about my condition, understand it a little bit more, and to actually learn about it. Because sometimes you have a condition, but it doesn't mean you know anything about it. You could have it for years. And I just, out of curiosity, I just picked up a few books of my condition, read up about it. But I came across quite a lot of things that people were saying, authors had written, research that actually stated very clearly that the asthma was a diet and lifestyle related disease that could be reversed, and could be reversed pretty much through diet and lifestyle changes. And at first I thought, I wasn't too sure. I just thought, okay. But then the more I read, the more I realized that there's a strong connection here with how I was living my life, what I was doing, what I was eating, and how it made my body feel. And I decided I've got to do something about this. And I saw that quite a lot of research had been done around foods and the correlation between poor diet and asthma.
Okay.
I thought my diet was pretty much normal, or what I believed to be normal. I ate what most people ate.
As we do.
Yeah, I just assumed my diet was fine. But the more I read, I realized that my diet was lacking nutrients.
Sure.
Was lacking vitamins, lacking antioxidants, lacking all these energy building foods that made your immune system strong enough
Sure.
to cope with all types of allergens.
Okay. So I guess you then started to dive into the world of nutrition.
I did. I explored a lot and experimented a lot on my diet.
Sure.
I had to introduce foods that I didn't like, I didn't want, and introduce foods that were there that I didn't even know existed.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, I had that opportunity to actually develop. You know, the amazing thing was that when I first started, like anything in life, you don't actually see the results immediately.
Sure.
It's a slow process. I mean, it took time for my condition to develop, and therefore it takes time to reverse. But I found that while I was eating a lot of raw foods, salads, and more vegetables, and try not to actually overcook my food and eat fewer of the types of foods that were harmful to my body. And I found that I had less asthma attacks.
Sure.
And the amazing thing was I wasn't having to use my inhalers, my medicated inhalers, as often at the time that I used to.
That's powerful. So there you go. If there's any asthma sufferers out there, if you know any asthma sufferers out there, or if you want to prevent yourself from becoming a victim of asthma, then you really need to get in touch with Cader and get a hold of her nutrition books. All of the content that she has is very, very rich, and you will definitely have an amazing life of abundance from a natural perspective, as well as a spiritual and mental perspective as well. I just had to pop that in there because if there's anything that is important, it's your well-being. So yeah, thank you very much for that, Ray. And so how long would you say it took before you could actually see the results that you had with first asthma?
The truth is, I saw immediate results from the moment that I actually altered the diet. That did not change the fact that I had asthma. I still had asthma, but the severity of my condition, it was immediate.
Okay.
I was using my inhaler over the prescribed dose, and that's what was happening. I had chest pains. Walking was a challenge. I couldn't do the activities that a lot of people could do, and so as soon as I introduced just an increase in raw food salads and vegetables and fruits in as natural a state as possible, I saw the immediate change.
Powerful.
And the amazing thing is, I was using the inhaler less and less. And the beauty of it is there was more and more food to eat. and yet my body was not reacting to the foods
Sure.
in the same way as the types of foods that I used to eat.
Sure.
I then had to take out from my diet foods that were harmful to me, of which, and I would imagine for every asthmatic, it may not be exactly the same thing, but from what we read and research, we can see that the majority of people react to dairy.
Sure.
The majority of people react to foods that are treated with too much additives and have too much E numbers in. So there's some foods that certain people just can't consume. They will react to it immediately. So taking out sweets and crisps and fizzy drinks and things that had so many additives in them, I just found that I could breathe much better and not use the inhaler as often. But it took exactly 2 years before I actually became asthma free. I do not use any orthodox medicine. All I use is foods on a daily basis, which I know builds my immune system. I use foods as my medicine. So if I know that I've eaten quite a lot of salads this today, then later on I'm going to make sure I have plenty of fruits, variety, different colors. I make sure that I have an abundance of what I need. And sometimes I don't fancy it, and so there are other ways of getting the vitamins in. I turn the fruits into a smoothie, or I juice it, and I'm still consuming a lot of live vitamins for my body, but on a much quicker scale.
Marie, she's expert on the field of nutrition, and she can actually go on and completely turn your lives around for the good, better and best within days. And if you want to find out much more about the nutritional aspects of her side of her life and business, then you can contact her. There's just so much to go through. I'm going to move on from there. Thank you very much for sharing those nuggets, Marie. That's very, very powerful, and you've certainly helped me as well in the time that I've known you. So thanks again. I want to move on to your Sanitarium side of the Goshen project. I mean, Sanitarium, Eden Sanitarium. Tell us more.
Yes, the Eden Sanitarium is the company logo, and Eden basically means just that. The original Garden of Eden, once upon a time, where everything was pure, perfect, and harmless. And basically, it's a mini version of trying to bring back a place where people can receive healing.
So, is it open to anybody?
It's open to everybody. And the Eden Sanitarium promotes diet and lifestyle education.
Okay.
And it uses, its main foundation is based on the 8 laws of health.
Sure. So, can we get a hold of your 8 laws of health book? Would that be available on your website?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
You can download it. It's free.
Sure.
And it's definitely the way forward when it comes to health. And the 8 laws of health isn't something new, and it's not something I can claim as my own. There's a big history behind it, but it's widely used in America, across the UK, and various parts of the world, but it simply stands for New Start, just so that people don't forget what the 8 laws of health actually represent. It's an acronym, and nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, air, rest, and trust.
Oh, powerful. So, how can we get a hold of your material? What is your website domain, Marie?
Okay, so if you can download the 8 Laws of Health, and it's on edensanitarium.co.uk.
So that's edensanitarium.co.uk.
.co.uk.